Hi guys, welcome back to TOEFL with Juva. There are so many types of questions in TOEFL independent writing, so it's easy to get confused. In this lesson, I will explain what the questions look like. If you know what to expect, it's much easier to get a high score. Let's get started. By the way, if you want to get your dream TOEFL score, check out my TOEFL materials. Here you can find templates, courses, sample answers, and much more to really boost your score. To access the TOEFL materials, click on the link in the description. Also, hit the like button and subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss the next video. The second writing task on the TOEFL test is called independent writing. You're not given any material to summarize. Instead, you're given a question that you must answer based on your personal opinions or experience. You're given 30 minutes to complete this task. The TOEFL states that an effective response will contain a minimum of 300 words. So I suggest that you write over 300 words if possible. There are a whole lot of different topics you might find in the independent writing task. You may be asked about work, education, families, or society. You don't need any special information or knowledge to complete the questions. You're given a prompt that you read, then you answer the question. The prompt is usually a sentence or two and a question. There are four main styles of prompt that you may see. I'm going to talk about them one at a time. If you know the type of question to expect, it's much easier to answer during the real test. In the following, we are going to have a look at the types of questions you may see in your TOEFL independent writing test. The first one is agree, disagree. This type of question is by far the most common. You are given a statement and asked if you agree or disagree with it. Here's an example. Do you agree or disagree with the following statement? Children today do not help others as much as children did in the past. Use specific reasons and examples to support your answer. You can see the three parts of the prompt. These may be in a different order, but they're always present. One part asks if you agree or disagree. The words agree and disagree are included, though the actual question might be paraphrased. In my example, you can see, do you agree or disagree with the following statement? The second part is a statement. This is always very different, so read this part carefully. Here the statement is, children today do not help others as much as children did in the past. The final part of the question asks you for examples or reasons. This is always at the end of the prompt. In this case, the words are use specific reasons and examples to support your answer. The order or exact words may be different, but these three parts are always present. For example, the same question might be written like this. Children today do not help others as much as children did in the past. Do you agree or disagree? Use specific reasons and examples to support your position. For this type of question, you must pick one side of the argument and write a response about it. Do not talk about the benefits of both viewpoints for an agree-disagree question. By the way, I have written responses for all of the questions. You can find my 30 out of 30 response for this agree-disagree question in this course. I give step-by-step instructions explaining what I wrote and why. It's a great way to become familiar with this type of question. Let's move on to the next style, Preference questions. Let's start with the example question. Some people like to stay at home on the weekends, while others prefer to leave their homes to do activities such as shopping or going to movies. Which do you prefer? Use specific reasons and examples to support your answer. You can see that there are actually 3 parts to this question too. It's like the agree-disagree question because there is a statement, a question, and the directions. Use specific reasons and examples. By the way, if you want to get your dream TOEFL score, check out my TOEFL materials. Here you can find templates, courses, sample answers, and much more to really boost your score. To access the TOEFL materials, click on the link in the description. Also, hit the like button and subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss the next video. Now, let me point out the differences. In preference-style questions, the statement explains 2 points of view. Usually, these questions are about work and study, friendships, or leisure activities. The question part asks which viewpoint you prefer. Therefore, you respond to a preference question by picking one viewpoint and writing why it's better. You don't have to say why the other is not as good. Don't forget, there is no right or wrong answer. Either viewpoint is acceptable to write about. Your score is based on whether you give an organized, clear response with good grammar and vocabulary. If you want to see my 30 out of 30 response to the preference question, you can find it in this course. The next type of question is multiple choice. Like the name suggests, in this style of question, there is more than one possibility to choose from. Here's what a multiple choice TOEFL independent writing question looks like. What do you think is the best way for your city to improve the public library? Purchase new books, build a meeting room, add computers for patrons. Use specific reasons and examples to support your answer. Do not use memorized examples. The bullet points may make this question type look really different from the others, but don't panic. Looking closely, it's really about the same. There's a question, options to choose from, and a statement to use specific reasons. That's just like the other question prompts, right? Just pick one of the 3 choices that you think answers the question well. Don't try to write about all 3 choices. Select one and explain why that is the best answer to the problem that is discussed in the question. Looking at the sample, the problem is how to improve the library. It doesn't matter which of the 3 options you choose. You can say buying books is best, adding a room is best, or adding computers is best. However, don't add a different solution that is not listed. Are you curious about which one I chose to write about? You can see my response and a step-by-step explanation of how I wrote it in this course. Now for the last question type. These are imaginary situation questions. That's because the question describes a situation that could easily happen in your workplace, town, or country. The situation is not real, but is often written as if there has been a plan or proposal made by the government. Here's an example of what I mean. Your city has just announced plans to turn the entire downtown area into a car-free zone. Only pedestrians and emergency vehicles like ambulances and police cars will be allowed in the area. Do you think it's a good idea to create a car-free zone? Use specific reasons to explain your position. This is the most unusual type of question. In fact, they don't appear very often on the TOEFL at all. However, it's important to note that they exist, so you are not surprised if you see one. Look closely at the question and you will see that it's actually almost like the other styles. You're given the imaginary situation. However, the other two parts are a question that asks your opinion and a statement that you need to use specific reasons. Your response is to say whether the plan or proposal is a good idea or not. Like the other question types, there is no right or wrong answer. You can find my high-scoring response to this question in this course. Now you may be a bit overwhelmed at the idea of 4 different question types. Let me summarize by stressing the similarities between them. You're given a statement with 1 or more possible choices. You're given a question that asks you to pick the best solution or decide if you agree or disagree. Then you are told to use specific reasons to support your answer. You need to use your own experiences and opinions to write your answer. Stay on topic and use good grammar and vocabulary for an awesome response. By the way, if you want to get your dream TOEFL score, check out my TOEFL materials. Here you can find templates, courses, sample answers, and much more to really boost your score. To access the TOEFL materials, click on the link in the description. Also, hit the like button and subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss the next video.